If I open up YouTube one more time to see a video titled "Play this champion to get out of bronze," I'm going to gen ult my brain out with a Graves water gun. I absolutely despise seeing videos like these because I think that they completely miss the mark on giving players good advice on how to build champion pools to improve at the game and climb. You know what they say, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish and you've released a predator on the rift. I don't know where I was going with this, but let's talk about champion pools. Champion pool strengths largely depend on the meta that exists. However, there are certain rules that you can implement in creating nice and solid champion pools independent of the current metagame. If you do not follow these rules, however, your champion pool is going to look like it was made by a complete and utter degenerate. Get that out of here. What are you doing? I just want to prefix this by saying that the last thing that I mentioned is ultimately going to be the most important thing. However, it is a cliche and you might already know what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to waste your time and I'm going to put it at the end of the video. Let us start by dispelling the idea of champion pools for high elo and for low elo. It is true, there are certain champions that are really good in low elo and that are absolutely unplayable in high elo. However, when creating a champion pool, this is the wrong way to think about things. The right way to think about it would be to determine your goals and then creating a champion pool that is going to allow you to reach those goals. If your goal is to climb from bronze to silver, well then you know what champions you need to play and you know what you need to do.
Yes, 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 yes! Yes, 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 yes! Yeah!
But more often than not, people are not just content with climbing from bronze to silver. Many players want to get better at the game, they want to get to platinum, they want to get diamond, master, and if that's the case, what the fuck are you doing wasting time learning garbage champions to inflate yourself in bronze? When choosing what champion to play, you want to make sure to make a champion pool for the rank where you want to be and not the rank where you are. This way you make sure that you're not wasting your time playing some trash that is going to inflate your rank without making you a better player. And when you get to higher ranks, now your champion is useless and you lack the skill to play at that level, so now you're gonna end up being hard stuck. And because you're not a player at that rank skill-wise, you can't even abuse champions that are OP in that rank. So now your purple man crack addict with a big machete has become a crutch that's keeping you up when you need to run a marathon. Low elo is a strange place. So many people with fragile egos entering dick measuring competitions to prove they are the king of silver. No, Timmy, your team doesn't suck. It's you headbutting your keyboard, trying to stat check people with Yasuo over and over again. You're the problem. Now listen closely. The more mechanically difficult a champion is, the more it belongs in the trash. A champion's mechanical difficulty is not a good trait. And now I got all those Riven, Akali, and Katarina 1 tricks covering their ears, yelling at the top of their lungs, "No, but my champion is super hard, I'm so good at the game, look at how fast I press buttons." Okay. If we have two champions who are the exact same power level, one is easy to play and one is hard to play, why would you risk playing the harder champion that is going to take you a lot more time to learn and master and is potentially going to punish you more with smaller mistakes? That just doesn't make sense. If you are playing to improve, then having champions in your pool that are going to emphasize you learning core concepts, or fundamentals as some people call them, are your best choice. Instead of focusing on pixel-perfect wind walls and calculating the geometry of your Q-dash minions, well, you're going to be learning skills that are going to make you a better player overall, that are also going to be applicable to other champions. This is not to say that you can't play difficult champions, of course you can, just understand that a champion's difficulty is not a good thing, it is a drawback of the champion. Another very important thing to consider when choosing simple champions over difficult ones is that they will allow you to reach champion mastery way faster. And Champion Mastery is one of these words we hear getting thrown around all the time. If you want a more detailed explanation on what Champion Mastery is, as well as why it's so important, I will be making a video probably right after this one, so hit the subscribe button to get notified when I upload that video. You know, a war tactician and the author of The Art of War, Sun Tzu, once said, and this roughly translates to, if you play more than 5 champions, you get no bitches. What do you mean I just made that up? I did not just make that up. I resent your implications. Ridiculous. So, unless your name is Nemesis, I suggest you stick to playing around 3 champions. I'm now going to list a bunch of strategies that you can implement in crafting the perfect champion pool, and the amount of strategies that you can choose from this list is going to depend on the size of your champion pool. However, I want you to remember, mastery is key. It is the most important thing, so stick to playing smaller champion pools. And to kick things off in B tier, we have playing meta, which means playing the strongest champions for the role for the current patch. This is more important the higher rank you are, and it requires having high mastery on a large number of champions. Not good for players who are trying to improve their overall game. Secondly, we have counterpick pools. This involves having some champions that you are not particularly good at that are very good in certain situations. You might not be that great at Tristana, but if the enemy gives into the voices in their head and first picks Kassadin,
If Kassadin was playable, I would play it. You don't kill them, you don't outscale them, and you don't win lane.
You can consider picking Tristana because on average she has a 1.2 thousand gold lead at 15 minutes in the matchup. However, be mindful that you should already have a decent understanding of the matchup if you are going to do this. Third on our list, we have having a playstyle. This lets you develop shared skills between similar champions. But keep in mind that not all scaling champions play the same, not all assassins play the same goes for mages, and etc, etc. And lastly, we have covering a wide range of roles. In the A tier, we have having a flex champion. This is a champion you can play in multiple roles. This can be used to complement or even replace your off-role pick. A good example of a flex champion is a Xerath, a Vlad, Jace, Lux, or Talon. Second in the A tier, we have transferability of skills. Will learning this champion give you a skill that you can use to improve as a player, or will the knowledge be limited to only that champion? A champion with bad transferability of skill is, for instance, Yasuo. If you learn how to play Yasuo, you're only gonna get skills for playing champions like Yone or Irelia. Third on our A tier is playing mechanically easier champions. Playing mechanically easier champions lets you have more champions in your pool. And last on our list, we have having both AD and AP picks. For bot laners, this isn't usually going to matter much. And finally, it's time for the S tier. Thing number 1 on the S tier is having a good blind pick. This means having a champion that is not easily countered. You will pick this champion when you don't know what the enemy will play. A good example of this is Orianna. A bad example is Kassadin. And our last strategy is going to be having a stable off-role champion. This way, you aren't going to waste time gaining mastery for a role outside of your main role. Okay, so now that we have the strategies out of the way, let's create an example champion pool. So we're gonna make a champion pool for a mid laner who off-rolls top lane. We can start off with Annie as a good blind pick because she is usually good in almost all situations, as well as being easy to play and not easy to counter. Kassadin is a pretty decent situational pick considering he's very good against certain team compositions. And to spice things up, and since both of our champions are AP, we can add an AD champion like Jace, who can serve as an off-roll top lane pick. And since Jace is a damage dealer, we can add a dedicated off-roll pick to be a tank, so something like Malphite fits perfectly well. And since we have easy champions like Annie and Malphite, we can easily afford to have 4 or even 5 champions in our pool. If you're struggling to make a champion pool yourself, a good rule of thumb and a good cheat code is to just include some flex picks. Now I want you to leave a comment down below with your champion pool, as well as an explanation onto why your champion pool contains certain champs. I think having this in the comments down below is gonna help people, give them inspiration, and help them create their own champion pools. And the final tip is have fun. That's it. If I really need to tell you why this is important, I think it's time to go outside and touch some grass. If you liked the video, hit the like button. You might also like a video that I made where I give you 5 rules that I used in order to climb from bronze to master in 8 months. Thank you for watching, good luck in your games, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.